First one is for you, Governor. Do Democrats have a problem with courting male voters? How can they win them back? Well, I did see Nancy Pelosi's comment today after the vote and the brouhaha with Schumer was that they should have listened to the women. Are we going to break down on men-woman thing now in the Democratic Party?
I don't think we should. I think it's about giving everybody the freedom to chart their own course, the opportunity to succeed, lifting everybody up, not trying to create others, not trying to slice and dice.
When Bill Maher went head-to-head with Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro on HBO's Overtime, the discussion crackled with urgency and unfiltered candor as they confronted some of the most contentious and consequential issues in American public life. Alongside journalists Batya, Ungar-Sargon, and MSNBC's Stein, the panel dove into hard-hitting themes. The Democratic Party struggled to embrace political inclusivity without succumbing to divisive identity politics, the erosion of public civility under the guise of free speech, and the rampant inefficiency and waste festering within federal institutions. The conversation didn't shy away from exposing the dangerous politicization of the justice system, with Shapiro warning of the grave consequences when prosecutorial power is wielded as a political weapon. Amidst the serious, and sometimes incendiary exchanges, moments of sharp humor offered a reprieve, proof that even in a fractured political climate, wit can still cut through the noise. Let's discuss this interesting topic.
First one is for you, Governor. Do Democrats have a problem with courting male voters? How can they win them back? Well, I did see Nancy Pelosi's comment today after the vote and the brouhaha with Schumer was that they should have listened to the women. Are we going to break down on men-woman thing now in the Democratic Party?
I don't think we should. I think it's about giving everybody the freedom to chart their own course, the opportunity to succeed, lifting everybody up, not trying to create others, not trying to slice and dice the electorate. I'll tell you the first thing I did, Bill, when I was...
And that goes racially, too?
I think it's for everybody, absolutely. First thing I did when I was governor, literally after taking the oath of office, I signed my first executive order doing away with the college degree requirement for 92% of
I love that. I had done bits on that myself.
Because I want people to have a shot. And then we followed that up by increasing our VOTEC budget in high schools by 50%. And get this, 81 new apprenticeship programs, everything from dairy herd management to welding. And we've got 12,400 new Pennsylvanians going through apprenticeships. We don't care if you're male, female, black, white, doesn't matter. We want you to have opportunity in Pennsylvania. We want to lift everybody up.
Governor Josh Shapiro's response to whether Democrats struggled to attract male voters was a strategic masterstroke, shifting the focus from identity politics to broad-based opportunity. Rather than leaning into demographic divisions, Shapiro emphasized a vision of inclusivity rooted in economic empowerment. By eliminating unnecessary college degree requirements for state jobs and massively expanding apprenticeship programs across industries like welding and agriculture, he's not just offering lip service, he's addressing the real, practical needs of working-class Americans, many of whom are men who feel alienated by political rhetoric. His approach sidesteps the trap of pandering, and instead underscores a universal message that dignity, opportunity, and success shouldn't be dictated by gender, education level, or background. In a political climate rife with division, Shapiro's focus on tangible skill-based pathways could be exactly the bridge Democrats need to reconnect with male voters who have long felt sidelined.
Was it inappropriate for the audience, this is for you, Batya, to boo J.D. Vance at the Kennedy Center last night? No, it's free speech. Okay? Come on.
She didn't even get to answer.
You're right. I'm so sorry. You're right. I tell you.
What, you were comfortable watching that?
I didn't see it. What happened?
They booed him. They called him like a series of expletives. He was with his wife. I thought it was kind of gross. I don't know what you guys thought.
I mean, it would be lovely if we didn't live in that country, but that ship has sailed. And you know, it happens to the other side, too. People have been at dinner, and people will surround them and force them to, including from the left. I mean, we saw that during the Black Lives Matter riots. People would be having dinner, and people would, you know, come on, get out there. I'm like, I'm having dinner. Can you wait? I mean,
well, these were definitely leftists booing the vice president.
I understand. Oh, no, they're terrible at it. Did you see the Love is Blind story?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was bad.
Okay, so that's it. I've never seen this show. Have you ever seen the show?
You've never seen? Oh.
No. Good. Yeah. Good. If you had said yes, you would have lost my vote immediately.
The panel's conversation around free speech and public civility revealed an unsettling tension in contemporary discourse, where the right to express dissent increasingly blurs with the normalization of public hostility. The instance of Vice President Harris being booed at the Kennedy Center sparked debate, not about legality, but about the erosion of basic decency in political engagement. While no one questioned the public's right to voice discontent, there was clear discomfort with how commonplace and almost performative such displays have become. This theme of over-politicization extended into personal realms as well, highlighted by the Love is Blind anecdote, where a relationship was derailed over one partner's insufficient engagement with political movements like Black Lives Matter. The panel's critique was subtle but pointed. When social issues become litmus tests for even intimate personal relationships, it reflects a culture increasingly dominated by ideological purity tests, leaving little room for genuine human connection or disagreement without alienation. Both discussions underscore the growing challenge of maintaining civility and balance in an era where political identity often overshadows all other aspects of public and private life.
What does the panel think of the Trump administration gutting and potentially eliminating the Department of Education? I'm still thinking about it, honestly.
Hey, you take this one.
Here's what I care about. I got kids with special needs. I've got kids who are coming from poor families who rely on this funding from the federal government to have a shot in life. I said before, I want every child of God to have the freedom to chart their own course, the opportunity to succeed. The federal government made a compact with those kids. I hope they don't break that compact with those kids.
I guess what the question, though, really is the Department of Education doing that? Is it now, they probably are doing some good work. I'm sure they are. What is their budget, like $200 billion or something? But it also looks like some of these places are just funneling money to people who are not solving the problem. I mean, I saw that story about the $20 billion that went out the door after Biden lost the EPA. It wasn't the EPA, or was it the EPA? But so there was $20 billion that they shoveled to groups because Trump was coming and then they were going to reverse all this stuff. And the supposedly environmental groups, and they were not really environmental groups, and they had no experience in doing it. Like I said before, I care about the plastics. Do I think this money was going to get rid of the plastics in my brain? I do not. So I am skeptical of the Department of Education, and I think every Democrat who runs really needs to take on this issue, because that's your portfolio, education. You've owned it, and the results aren't good.
Well,
Kids isn't.
The education standards.
Kids isn't learning.
Kids are not.
Kids isn't learning. I think through all this, I'm sorry, Sam. Were you going to?
I will say it's clear that our education achievements are not where they need to be, right? Like, we look at any comparison to any other country, we're just not keeping up. The question is, absent that funding, would it be worse, right? We don't know. This money, if it can get funneled back into the states, I'm assuming there are some Democrats who say, good, keep the top lines at where they are and we can use it to our benefits. But this money was also used to set education standards, to study how to do better curriculums, to figure out how to recruit teachers in a comprehensive, thorough way. And so I don't know every program that they are cutting right now, but the idea that there won't be any adverse consequences seems not logical.
Of course not.
The panel's discussion on the Trump administration's proposal to slash or eliminate the Department of Education struck at the heart of a long-standing debate. How to balance fiscal responsibility with the moral imperative to support vulnerable students. While Governor Shapiro and others voiced valid concerns about how such drastic cuts could jeopardize essential services for special needs children and low-income families, there was an equally forceful acknowledgement of the department's inefficiencies. Skepticism ran high over whether federal funds are truly being used to solve core educational problems, or simply funneled through bloated bureaucracies. Shapiro's advocacy for zero-based budgeting, a method where agencies must justify every dollar from the ground up, stood out as a pragmatic solution, pushing for accountability without sacrificing critical support. This debate underscored a broader theme, that safeguarding equitable education doesn't have to come at the expense of demanding smarter, more mission-driven spending. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this breakdown, and want more no-nonsense takes on politics, culture, and everything in between, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. I appreciate your support. See you in the next one.